I'm so excited to finally talk about this. I've been a beta tester for the new version of the Webflow interactions powered by GSAP, and what I can tell you, it is truly amazing. I am a visual first person, and I've already noticed that with the new horizontal timeline, it has already saved me a lot of time because I've been doing GSAP animations for more than 1 year now, and I've noticed that it's for me it's so much quicker to just create GSAP animations. For now, there are just a few GSAP capabilities released by Webflow, like the split text, staggers, and the scroll trigger. But in the upcoming months, there are going to be a lot more GSAP capabilities available within Webflow, which is going to be truly amazing. And yeah, I decided to create a tutorial about how I created the demo because I think people want to see how it was created and to show you how the new capabilities of like from GSAP look within Webflow. And I've created my demo as a clonable, so you can clone it and use it for free. I recommend you to just do this while you are going to watch this tutorial because it's going to make learning a lot easier. So yeah, let's get started. There are three main interactions that we want to focus on. The first one is the preloader. The second one is the menu, how it opens up, and then the interactions on the links, the hover interaction, and then the cards and how they open up. The first thing that we want to do for the preloader is the text, how it scales down. So let's go into Webflow. Again, you are going to have a clonable inside the description. I recommend you to use it when you're going to watch this video because it's just, we are not going to focus on the structure, and it's just easier to learn these things by looking at the tutorial and using the clonable so you can do the same things. So the first thing that we want to is to open the interactions panel on the left. Let's click on creating a new interaction, click on page load because we are going to create the preloader. Let's rename this preloader. And then we want to create the first animation. Let's click on custom and rename this to header scale down. Let's click on class, on trigger, and set it to class heading. And then we want to set the duration to 1 second, and then we want to make it start from 1.5 seconds. As you can see here at the bottom is the timeline. Like, I'm very excited for this one. It's really amazing, and in a few minutes you are going to see how everything looks together for this preloader and why it is so powerful. You can also like move things, and they are going to be set here, but I'm going to use the settings on the right for now. Let's set the easing to power to in, and for the properties for this one, because if you look at how it animates, it starts from the center and goes down. We want to use moving properties. So the first one is move X, which it moves from right to left, and this is what we are going to set. We are going to set it to move to the right, and then we want it to move back into its space to we are going to set it to 0 viewport width. Then for the moving, we want it to move from up to down, so we are going to set it to -25 viewport, and then we are going to set it to 0 viewport width. Yeah, and then we want to also set a scale of 1.5 because it starts bigger and then it goes down, as you can see. So yeah, here is the first animation that we are going to create. The second one is how it like the letters animate in. If you look at this, it sort of scales a bit in, and also the letters move a bit up, sort of this feeling. So this is what we are going to create, and then we are going to set the sort of opacity, how it fades in, and then how the letters have some, it starts with a lighter purple and then it's a darker purple. So let's create the second animation, click on custom, and let's rename this header animate in. And let's set the trigger to header, class header wrapper. We are going to set a time of 1.7 seconds, and we actually want it to start sooner, around 0.5 seconds, because this is the first thing that you see. It's how the letters animate in and then the text scales down. And let's leave the easing to power 1 in. Then we want to use again that sort of the letters, how they move up. So we are going to use move X and move Y again. Let's set this to 0 pixels, and then we want them to move up with 7 pixels. Same here, but we are going to end with -7 pixels, so they move up, as you can see. And let's set the scaling to be a bit smaller, and then it goes to 1. Then we want to also set the property with auto alpha. So first you don't see it and then it appears. And then we also want to add some text styling. So it's a lighter purple and then it's a darker one. Also, if you look at the animation, it's each animation, like the animation, it's added on every letter. So with GSAP now you can click on split text and then you select letter, and then the animation like adds for every letter. But we need to set the settings for this one because it doesn't look exactly right. So we are going to set the stagger to offset time, and we want to set it to 1.1 seconds, because with that one we are setting the time in between each letter with how much sort of pause you want to have between each letter, so they don't start at the same time. If you can look at the timeline, you have the stagger here, and this is the overall time for the whole animation, how much it takes with the stagger added. And you have this sort of effect, like every letter just applies, like the animation applies the settings with a bit of delay for each letter and creates this nice effect. And then we also want to add some easing for power 1 in. This is how I add it. And yeah, this is the first animation. The third animation that we want to do is the background. When the text scales down, also like the background scales down, and it has this nice margin around it. So we are going to create this. Let's go here again, click on a new animation, custom, call this one background scale down. We want to set a trigger of class to content background. And we want to add a time of 1.2 seconds, and we want to make it start at the same time with the header, so 1.5. And then we want to leave the easing to power 1 in, and let's delete these ones and just use scaling because this is the one that we want. We are going to set it to be a bit bigger at first and then it to scale at 1, so it's the exact effect that we want. Yeah, so we have the third animation as well. We are going to do the fourth animation, which is the menu. If we look at the demo, the menu button goes upward and then it fades in. We are going to create this. Let's create a fourth animation. Let's call this one menu animate in, and we are going to select the class for it, which is menu wrapper, and we want to set the timing to 0.5 seconds, and then we want to make it start at 2.5 seconds around the time. So before the background scales fully down, we want the menu to animate in. Let's leave the easing to power 1 in, and then let's just use, because we only need it to move up, we are going to use move Y. Let's set it to start from 2 rem and then to end at 0 rem. So it moves up. And we are going to use again the property auto alpha, set it to 0 and then 100 so it fades in. Yeah, so there you have it. You have the menu button animating in as well. The fifth animation, the last one, is like each card to appear. And if you can see, it has a sort of delay, so it's the stagger from GSAP. And we are going to apply this. So let's go create a new animation. Let's rename this to cards animate in. We want to set a trigger for cards, for the class cards wrapper. And we want to set the duration of 0.5 seconds. And we want to make them start at around 3 seconds. So it's the last thing after the menu. And for these ones, if you look, they fade in at first. Also, they have an upwards movement, so similar to the menu, but they also have a scaling effect to them. They are a bit bigger and then they scale down. So we are going to use delete opacity, delete this one, leave move Y, set this to again to rem, set to 0 rem to end the initial position, and we are going to set the scale to be a bit bigger and then 1 so it goes back to their normal size. And we are going to again add the property auto alpha 0 and then 100. And now because they animate all at the same time, we want to add the stagger effect. We are going to go here, set offsite time, and we are going to add a difference of 0.25 between each one. And there you have the animation for the cards as well. Let's go here at the start of the timeline and just preview this. So there you have it. You have the first interaction for the preloader. All right, so we have the first interaction, which is the preloader, and the second one is the menu opening up, and then the links appearing. If you look at how it starts, it's a circle, and then it sort of expands from bottom right to left top, like in a rectangle. And then each link appears with a stagger effect. So we are going to do this now. Let's go into Webflow, the interactions panel, click on new interaction, and we are going to select click because it triggers on click. We are going to name this menu open. Let's go to triggers class. We are going to set it to menu icon. And then for the control, you want to click on toggle play reverse, because when you open the menu, the animation plays, and then when you click on it the second time, the menu the animation sort of plays in the reverse. So that's what you want to do. Let's click on action, create a new animation, custom, and let's rename this to open menu. This is going to be the first animation. We are going to focus on the rectangle, how how the background expands from circle to a rectangle. Let's set the duration to let's set first the target to class. We are going to set it to menu layout. And then we want to set the duration of 0.5 seconds. We are going to leave it from the start. Let's leave is to power one in. And for the properties, we are going to need width, height, and origin. And we are going to deselect all the others. Let's set from width to 3 rem. Then we want it to expand to 18 rem width. For the height, again 3 rem because it's a circle, and we want it to expand to 19 rem on opening up height. And the origin, I just set it to bottom right, so it sort of expands from bottom right to left. And let's create the second animation because we have also the links, how they appear. It has an opacity, and then each link appears with a stagger effect. So we are going to do this. Let's go back to adding a new animation. Let's click on plus under actions, and we are going to rename this to links animate in. For the target, we are going to set to class, and we are going to select menu links. The duration is going to be 0.4 seconds, and we are going to make it start at around, let's say, 0.4, like somehow like before the first animation ends, because it just gives a nice effect and it doesn't wait for the first one to end. We are going to use the properties, just auto alpha, and we are going to deselect the others. Let's set from 0 to 100. So there you have it. Now we want to add the stagger effect. For this one, I selected total time and I set it to 0.1 seconds. So it has a delay between the links. And we want to set the easing to power one in. And yeah, there you have it. This is the second interaction for opening up the menu. So now that we have the interaction for opening up the menu, we want to create this hover interaction. So let's go into Webflow. Let's click on creating a new interaction. We are going to set it to hover. We are going to rename this to menu links on hover. Then we want to set the trigger to class menu links. And we are going to leave this as this, and we want to go to create again an animation. Let's rename this to links change colors on hover. And the trigger, we are going to leave it as same trigger, and then for the duration we are going to set it to 0.7. We are going to leave the start to 0, then the easing is going to be the same, power 1 in, and we are just going to use the property text for the styling, for the colors, deselect all the others. Let's add the lighter purple, and let's add the darker purple. And now we want to add a stagger effect, because if you look with when I'm hovering, like it animates for each letter, similar to how the header was animating. So let's click on first like split. We are going to split for each letter, and then we want to set an offset to let's set it to 0.1 seconds. And let's set the easing to power 1 in. And let's see how it plays. So we have the preloader, then the menu appears. Let's see. Yeah, we have it. So each the animation plays for each letter when you hover on it. Right, so the last interaction that we have is hovering on the cards. If you look at how the animation is, the cards expand and they scale up a bit, and then there is some sort of rotation going on them. So let's go into Webflow. Again, the interactions panel. Let's click on creating a new interaction. This is going to be on hover. Let's rename this one to cards on hover. And for the trigger, we are going to set it to cards wrapper, the class, and then we want to create like a control play from beginning. It's going to be on mouse enter. And then we want to create another trigger, which is going to be on hover, and we are going to leave the same class, cards wrapper, and we are going to set it to mouse leave, and control it's going to be to play in reverse. So basically it does the same thing as on the menu, but we are not going to add that um, toggle play reverse because there are more cards. It's just not only one element that triggers the animation. And if you are going to use the same like that toggle, you are going to notice that you are hovering on a card and then you hover on the next one, and then the first one closes and it just creates a mess. So this is how we are going to do it. Create these two triggers with play from the beginning on mouse enter, and then the second one on mouse leave, you play it in reverse. And let's create the animation, custom. Let's add a name to this of cards expand, and we want to set the duration of 0.3. For the trigger, we are going to leave the same trigger. We are going to leave from start, power 1 in for the easing, and then for the properties we are going to set it to scale. We are going to remove these ones. We are going to set the rotate one, and also we are going to use the height property. So for the scale, we are going to set it first as 1, and then we want it to grow a bit, which we are going to set it to 1.1. For rotate, we are going to set it as 0 degrees, and then we are going to set it to go to 3 degrees as this. And then for the height, we are going to set it to 3.5 rem. This is the height of the element at first, and then we want to set it to 14 rem when it expands. So it expands and it shows that image. So there you have it. This is how we do it. Let's preview this and see how it works. Yeah, so we have all the animations and the interactions in, and yeah, this is how you create the clonable that I created. Thank you for watching the tutorial. I hope that it helped. Please let me know if you have any ideas for what you want to see next from me, because I'm going to start creating content again and tutorials. And I want to focus on this release from Webflow for the GSAP animations. And if you need help with anything, or just you want to see me creating something, I'm also going to create clonables. Just let me know in the comments below, and yeah, see you next time.